Hi guys, Chris here and welcome to my unboxing of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3 Pro. So about a month ago I unboxed the Redmi Note 3 and in my review I said that was basically one of the best budget phones you can get. Now there was one big problem with that one is it didn't have a micro SD card slot. Well, Xiaomi's fixed that and they've changed the chipset as well and increased the camera, and this is the Pro version. Now I got the 3GB Prime version they call it that has 32 gigabytes of storage and the 3 gigabytes of RAM. So they changed the Helios X10 for a Snapdragon 650. This particular one here, I got this off AliExpress. I had to do a bit of a deal with the seller to get it to me nice and quick and keep the package completely sealed, which I just checked before I pre-opened this, and they have it in the cellophane plastic wrap still because I didn't want them to open up. I didn't want them to flash their own global ROM on there. So there's going to be no Play Store on this yet. Because what happened with my Redmi Note 2 is I asked one of the sellers, I said, I wanted a global ROM and I wanted Play Store on there. And it turns out it had some sort of adware on there. There's a malware. They kept popping up adverts all the time. So this won't happen. This is exactly how it is out of the factory. So we'll have a look on the back here. You can see there's our specs. It's outlining there the Snapdragon 650, 1.8 gigahertz, and as mentioned, this is the 3 gigabyte RAM version. So I'll just show you some of the accessories they put on the box for me. So they're giving me a tempered glass screen protector case and a few other goodies here, screen protectors, just some extras they asked for. And what is this? A little coupon. Bit of a bribe there. So if we leave them 5 stars and good comments, then they give me a discount. Okay. Now this should be the white version. Decided to change the color this time. The last one I got was the black version, but you can see it comes in either silver with a white front, gold, and the black and gray color. Good to see it is the white version. So that we have the menu key, the back, and recent apps. Front facing 5 megapixel camera. There's a ambient light sensor in here, the earpiece. On the side is our SIM card slot, which I'll open up in a second. It does support micro SDs, so that's one of the big moves there. I think after all the complaints that they got, they decided to add that support, which is stupid because they should have had that in the Redmi Note 3 to start with, really. And then we have loudspeaker at the bottom. Here's our USB, micro USB 2 port, microphone. The top there is another microphone, 3.5mm headphone jack, and this is our infrared right there. So on the right side we have volume up and down and power on. So it's quite a thick device, not as thin as some of the other mobiles out there. It's not as thin as the Redmi Note 2, which I have right here with me. So I'll put those two together. You can see there's a little bit of a difference there, but we do have a larger battery because this has only the 3000 milliamp hour battery. This has 4000 milliamp hour battery now. So I'll just get my scales out. So it's 166 grams, and the Redmi Note 2 is 162 grams, so it's only gained 4 grams, which is basically nothing there. And the thickness of it, there is no real thickest point, I think. So I'll just try here. So we're looking at 9.1 millimeters, and the Redmi Note 2 is 8.3. So there's a bit of a difference there. So slightly thicker, being at 9 millimeters. So I just power this up, hopefully. Actually, no, before I power it up, I need to check the SIM card slot. The SIM tool's included inside the box there. Just open this up. So it's one of those hybrid SIM card slots, so it can be either 2 SIMs, 2 micro SIMs. So you can see there, you've got SIM 1, your micro SIM, so your main SIM, You can either put in your second SIM there or use, it says TF/SIM, so trans flash, your micro SD card in there, which is something that the Redmi Note 3 should have had to start with. Why they ever dropped support for that, I do not know. But it's good to see that finally included. And this is the reason why I actually sold my Redmi Note 3. The micro SD card slot was a bit of a deal breaker in the end for me, so that's why I sold it and why I have kept the Redmi Note 2. So I'll just show you the power supply they've included. So it's a two-pronged, this is the US style, and it should be rated to 5 volts, 2 amps is the output of that one. It's a nice tiny little charger. And they do include your micro USB cable there. So just power that on. Hopefully there's some battery in there. There should be. I don't see why not. So it has the custom UI, MIUI 7 over the top of Android 5.1, I think it is. But I'll check that out in a second. So the rear we have the 16 megapixel camera and fingerprint sensor and our flash there. And it's metal along here. This part along here is plastic. So plastic top and bottom for the antennas. So from the outside, the Redmi 3 Pro, Note Pro, looks exactly like the Redmi 3. There's no physical difference on the outside, but we do have a different camera now, which I think they're using a Samsung sensor in the back there. I'll have to check that out, look into that. So it's come up, I've got either Chinese or English. So we don't have multi-language. This is not a multi-language ROM, it's just the stock ROM that comes with it. If you want the global ROM, you're going to have to check out and look on the en.miui.com forums there. Normally that's where they release the ROMs there. So if you're after another language, Spanish or something for example, then you have to check that out there. So let's go through the initial setup. Okay, just go for the default theme. So I removed that screen protector that was on there that came from the factory. This is the lock screen, and you can see it's got a Apple look to it, the MIUI 7, very much so. And we do have a couple of bloatware apps installed, and hopefully I can uninstall most of these. Of course, they're not relevant to me here, and nor do I want anything in Chinese because I don't understand it. So there's maybe about 6 or 8 bloat applications here. Here's the typical drop down menu. So we do have a few things here, like we have the torch, for example, that'll turn on the LEDs on the back, and all of the quick settings that we have access to. Automatic brightness is on at the moment. I have that set to the maximum. You can turn that off and tweak the brightness right down. Quite dim there, you can see. So probably good for nighttime using, that is. And that is the maximum, which I'll leave on at the moment. So the phone is running Android 5.1.1, and we can see there it's just outlining the CPU, hexa-core, max 1.8 gigahertz, and it is the MIUI 7.1 stable. There's the full version there, which this model comes out with at the moment. Internal memory, we have 24.65 gigabytes, free of that 32 total. And of course I can insert now a micro SD card, unlike the previous models, which is great, just what we needed. I'll go through and check if there are any system updates. No doubt Xiaomi's probably pushed out maybe a few tweaks and fixes. And a few other settings here we have child mode, light mode, additional settings. If you do have a Mi headset, then you can go along and change your headphones type to the exact one that you have, and what it'll do is it'll adjust and tweak the sound according to what headset you have there, which is not a bad little feature. You can assign buttons to on the headphones if you've got the remote and change that. There's also the ability to change notification lights. There's a little tiny notification light up here, which you can see just there that pops up. And you can also adjust the buttons. So if you're not happy with the layout of the buttons there, then you can change that. If you're a Samsung user and you're used to having it on the other side, or LG, you can change the reset button, the home, and the back button to your own setting there. So you can go along and completely swap that around. And there's a few other things on here, navigation lights, backup and reset. Under battery and performance, power, that just gives us a breakdown of how long we can expect the battery to last. So I've currently got 72%. That's telling me I've got 1 day and 12 hours left. You can turn on battery saver, schedule power on and off. It's a handy little feature too that we don't often see. I mean, my Galaxy Note 5 doesn't have any features like that. Battery use, your typical battery use there. And performance, there's no option there to change the CPU like we see on the MediaTek ones. MediaTek ones you can set to balance or performance. Performance will be high performance, sacrificing battery life. But here we can just change the system animations to help speed things up. So that's a quick look. Before I go, I'll just quickly show you the camera. So it's got a 16 megapixel sensor on it now instead of the 13 on the Redmi Note 3. And hopefully we have 4K video recording, which it should support because the Snapdragon 650 does support 4K, and I imagine the sensor would as well. So camera modes, we've got manual, fisheye, scene mode. These are all the same ones that we've seen in the previous model. Typical MIUI 7 settings there. Picture quality can be changed to high. A couple of gimmicks here, the age and gender, just a funny little thing, bit of a jokey kind of feature there. It will detect your age, so you can aim this at your girlfriend and you can either offend her or get a compliment, maybe saying, hey, my mobile phone says that you're only 18. Anyway, other things you can adjust, contrast, saturation, etc. So a few settings there. And go over into the camera mode and have a look and see what settings we have. That's front facing camera, time lapse or slow motion, and we have video quality, full HD, HD or standard definition. Unfortunately no 4K. Hopefully that's going to come in an update. And you can image capture while recording if you wanted. Volume shutter, functions, anti-banding. Not a lot of settings there in the camera mode, so they haven't really improved things on that, but I will test that out. I'll take a video sample with the front-facing camera and the rear as well and see how that looks. Just quickly go into camera and see how quick. Take a photo of the controller right here. Focus seems pretty much the same as the other models, and then we should also be able to adjust the exposure. We can, so if you move your finger around here, you can increase exposure compensation there and do some finer adjustments. I did see manual mode there too, so that hopefully will give us a few more options. ISO can go up to 3200, that's quite high, and all the way down to just 100 ISO, the sensitivity. So there are a few options. White balance, so actually not really many options compared to that of the LG V10 or other mobile phones, so you can adjust the white balance there. And I'll very quickly show you how the fingerprint sensor works. So you need to have a PIN number already set up. Then you just go in and add your fingerprint. I've already got one fingerprint already registered. I think you can register up to 5, I think it is. So I'm just going to add one more. So you have to confirm your PIN again. Just another security step there. And all you need to do is place your finger that you want to scan or use on the back of the sensor. Phone vibrates, and you need to do that 10 times. And there we go. That should have done it. Now it's set up. And unlocking and unlocking using your fingerprint is very quick. So just lock it now. Simply place your finger on the back there, and boom, it unlocks. It's very quick and works literally 9 out of 10 times. Overall, the build of the phone is excellent. You've got the metal trim around here, the way it's put together, the fit and finish, there's no extra gaps. Premium. The whole thing feels premium, and for this price range, show me a phone that has a better build quality for the price. I don't think you're going to find one. Maybe one of them easy ones, okay. But overall, I mean, the metal buttons, the whole way it's put together, it's just premium without the premium price tag. The build of it is just great. So it's just a unboxing and quick hands-on look. I'll be back with a full lot of benchmarks here. I'll have to see if I can install Google Play Store. If not, go onto one of those APK mirror sites and download Geekbench 3 and 2.2 and see just how well the Snapdragon 650 performs and if it's worth the extra that you have to pay for this particular model, because this cost me about 230 US, so it's definitely about another 20-30 more than the Redmi Note 3 version, the non-pro version there. So do stay tuned to the channel and check back with me soon for the benchmarks, camera samples, and full review later on. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.